participants, welcome to, well, I'd say sunny sail, but it's a rather chilly sail this morning. I'd first like to do an acknowledgement of country. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owner of the land on the Gunai-Kurnai lands that we are currently skating on today. We pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to the semi-finals of Statewide Stampede. We've had 5 rounds of derby competition, and today we work out who goes into the finals. So we've had 2 pools of skaters playing. We've ranked each pool after every team has played each team in their pool. And today we have the 1s versus the 2s, the 3s versus the 4s. And we have both number 5s on the ladder playing each other today as well, fighting it out for second last place. They will not be moving on to the finals. We are starting with number 4 from pool 1 and number 3 from pool 2, which is Pivot City versus Dragon City. I do not have the team rosters to tell you as yet. I do not have the NSO rosters. Obviously, we want to thank our officials for making roller derby possible. And I will name them all individually as soon as I get their names. And this also means I might have to use derby skater numbers a little bit today because I won't have the list of names that match up. When it gets to me, I'll bring them straight to you. Pivot City is playing in the green and Dragon City is playing in the red. We have 2 jammers lined up. I do recognise Mad Pixie, 76, needs no number for recognition. Up against 22, whose name I cannot read from here. I was going to say we have how long until Derby, but there is no time left on the clock, so I think we're just waiting for the officials to do their final official things. I'm Harmon Miranda, by the way, and I will be having JR coming to the commentary desk when he arrives. And we'll be talking derby to you for this first game this morning. Thank you. Alrighty, I've got some rosters. So Dragon City today, we have 10 KTKO, 1208 Smackaron, 22 Argy Bargy, who is lined up to jam as we speak, 33 Fatal Phoenix, 39 Sassy Devil, 45 Jack Rabbit, 5 Calamity June, 68 Bender, 77 Crackerjack, 82 Sparks Are Right, 86 Razorback, 99 In Pickle, and Elmer Thud. On the bench for Dragon City, we have Library Fine, Sugar, Flick Off, and Bearskin Bruiser. For Pivot City, we have 05 Mad Splatter, 111 Dash, 2 Dakota Blocker, 22 Bianca, 247 Turbo Kirby, 29 Ra, 3 Billy Goat Ruff, 30 Bombshell, 467 Grazed Anatomy, 51 Melonhead, 52 Simon Halen, 6 Bad Juju, 73 Liz Williams, 76 Mad Pixie, 88 Wipeout, 89 J-Lo, and on the bench Neon Tigress, Lawless Chucky, and Mina Nina. We have both jammers heading down the straight. Mad Pixie being chased by KO out at the front. KTKO called out of play, and Mad Pixie gets lead for the first jam of this round 5. South Statewide Stampede in sail. Not too far behind at all is Argy Bargy. Mad Pixie entering the pack. Dragon City blockers at the front trying to slow her down. She falls on that. KTKO going to the penalty box. Both jammers, 10 feet between them. Both now with 4 points on the board. Heading around for their second scoring pass. 2 Dragon City blockers at the front of the pack, joined by their third to make a tripod. Attempting to stop Mad Pixie at the front. She calls. Let's see if Dragon City got any points. In that last scoring pass, Mad Pixie got 1 extra point, bringing Pivot City to 5. Dragon City remains on 4. And the Derby day has officially started.
It's happening.
Up on the jammer line, we have 7-3, Liz Williams, up against 1208, Smackaron. Smackaron exits the pack first, but about 20 feet behind and turning on the speed is Liz Williams. Closing that gap. Dragon sitting waiting at the back of the pack. We have, I think that's 1 point each. Nope, that was 3 points. I lie. 3 points for Pivot City Rangers, 1 point for the Dragon City Chico Rollers. Score is 9 for Pivot City, 5 for Chicos. We now have Sparks a Riot on the line up against... Nope. Sparks being drawn back at the back there by blocker 8-9 from Pivot City. Whilst Dash is already around after getting lead on their initial pass, ready to score some points. Dash chasing down the Dragon City jammer. Decides to call it before Dragon City can get any points. What looked like a nice easy 4 points, which I'm sure it wasn't. Roller derby's never easy. 4 more points on the board for Pivot City, extending their lead, now 13-5. Mad Pixie takes the line again. We are going into Jam 4, so that's like a 1 in 3 rotation for Mad Pixie. Facing up again against Argy Bargy, so this is the same matching that we saw in Jam 1. Pivot City taking the back line, Dragon City at the front. Mad Pixie is out, lead is declared. Sprinting around to score some points. Argy Bargy trying the inside line, moving to the outside, back to the centre. Pivot City Tripod has her caught in their midst. Mad Pixie does a little dance on the inside line, comes around, scores her 4 points. Argy Bargy has one left green block. Oh, I was going to say one green blocker left, but they've reformed beautifully. Now there's one green blocker left. Exiting the pack, coming around. Initial pass complete. Mad Pixie ducking into outweaving through the red blockers. Looks to her bench. Does that kind of, oh, yep, doing another lap. The inevitability that you'll see in the face of a jammer when they've been told not to call it off. Then goes back around. That Pivot City Tripod has Argy Bargy at the front of the pack, slowed down, not going anywhere. Moving from in to out and being effectively blocked by both of those spots. KO taking Mad Pixie back. Beautifully screened by number 6 coming back from the penalty box. Argy Bargy exits, Mad Pixie exits. Both jammers now have points on the board. Pack slows down again. Dragon City's taking the back of the pack. A little bit of O provided there by Pivot City at the back. Oh, and a bit of O at the front provided by Dragon City. Mad Pixie skims down the inside line. Argy Bargy caught at the front by her tripod. Mad Pixie calls it. That was a 4-point. Oh no, we'll have a couple more points come through. Let's just wait a second. Let's not get too excited. Let's give the refs time to throw their points in. So that was a 7-point jam for Dragon City, bringing them to 12. And a 16-point jam by Mad Pixie, bringing Pivot City's score to 29. We have Smackaron again, up against Liz Williams. Looks like we might have 3 jammer rotations from both teams this morning. Liz is out, home free, lead jammer, able to score some points. Smackaron's being knocked to the outside. Oh, and has scored a penalty. Heading to the penalty box, allowing Liz full access to the track as the only jammer on the track. Completed one scoring pass, coming back around for a second. Her team go in for some coordinated O, with only 2 Dragon City players on the track. Liz screams on that inside line, around for another 4 points. Pivot City this time taking the outside. Liz gets the points, calls it off, and we have the opposing jammer standing in the box. So we're going to be starting as a power start for Pivot City, with their jammer being the only jammer on the track. Full complement of Pivot City blockers and 3 Dragon City blockers on the track for this jam. We have Bombshell jamming for Pivot City. This is their first jam for the day. Pivot City, well, Dragon City's taken the pivot line with the Pivot City blockers crowding around, looking ready to do some snazzy offence. Bombshells hit the back, round on the outside, lead jammer. Smackaron has returned from the box now and is fighting her way through the Pivot City blockers, through for their initial pass. whilst at the same time, meanwhile in the pack, Bombshell coming through, only KO at the front of the pack, which we all know is a jammer's nightmare. Knocked to the outside, drawn to the back. Smacker on in and scoring points now. Thought she tipped her through on the outside, but unfortunately has had a cut, heading back to the penalty box. Bombshell being recycled again by KTKO. Dragon City blockers at the back of the pack. Pivot City come in to do some O, leaving KTKOs everywhere. I think there's like 4 KTKOs out there. Front of the pack, moving Bombshell right to left, out to the inside. Pivot City coming in to offer some much-loved offence. Bombshell's trying to take advantage of. 4-6-7 sacrifices herself to KTKO. And Bombshell calling it before Smockeron, returning from the box, has a chance to get close to the pack. I'll quickly run through our officials. We have today skating officials: Knives to See You, Gary, Bussy the Vampire Slayer, Executioner, Rickamortis, Pee-wee, Mayhem and Disaster Chief. And on our non-skating officials roster, we'll thank you all: Bullseye, Kick, Crystal, Strawberry Short Skate, Bonnie, Muggles, Abby Normal, Hyperdurmilk, Achilles Wheel and Frankenherder. Back to the action. It's Mad Pixie up against 8-2 for Dragon City, who is Sparks Riot. Mad Pixie got a cut through that initial pass, heads to the penalty box, leaving Mad Riot, Sparks Riot, my bad, Sparks Riot, to be the jammer of note. Only jammer on the track. Lead jammer, in fact. Dragon City blockers, trapping one of the Pivot City blockers at the back of the pack. And then offering offence on the inside line. Sparks are right now, pushing up against a tripod of green at the front of the pack. Bit of tiptoeing on the inside line, out for a full 4 points. Mad Pixie is back, completes the initial pass, and hot on the heels of Sparks are right. Sparks sees Mad Pixie coming to overtake. It says, no thank you, I'm going to call this off. You can have 0 points, Mad Pixie. So that was a 4-point jam for Dragon City. 0 points for Pivot City, bringing our score. Dragon City is on 18, chasing 44 for the Pivot City Rangers. Okay. So we'd like to apologise. Apparently the scoreboard is not working on the stream at the moment. So your current score is 44 Pivot City Rangers, 18 for Dragon City. We have 19 minutes 42 on the period clock. And we are currently having an official timeout at the conclusion of Jam 7. We already have our jammers out on the track. They're eager. Looks like it's Argy Bargy up against Liz. As always, if you're in the building, I would love to invite you to go and check out the stalls we have and support the league that is running today's event. Raffle tickets, some amazing raffle prizes over there. Merch, definitely things you want to take home with you on whether you had a short drive or a long drive today. There's our rolling whistle. There's some blockers returning to the track. Looks like Derby is about to recommence. Dragon City taking the front of the pack. Pivot City with just a tripod on that jammer line. Liz taking the inside line. Argy Bargy going straight into the middle of that Pivot City tripod. Liz ducking inside to outside, outside to inside, pushing past, makes it past KO at the front of the pack. Lead jammer for Liz. And now exiting on their initial pass, we have Argy Bargy as well. Bit of shuffling in the pack. Dragon City keeping that front position. Oh, Liz doing some lovely toe-stop work on the inside. Big whack to the chest by KO. Falls down and calls it before Dragon City has a chance to score any points. That was, oh, I lied. It was 2 points to Pivot City in that jam, 1 point to Dragon City. Scores are now 46-19. Big sprint by J-Lo to get onto the track in time then. We have Dash 111, dancing up the inside on their toe stops. Out for lead jammer. Up against 108 Smackaron, who is still in the pack, pushing up against that. That's been an amazingly strong tripod from Pivot City so far this morning. Out she comes while Dash also exiting the back. Dash on a scoring pass. Smack on about to start a scoring pass. Tripod Pivot goes to catch at the front. Bit of O there from Razorback. Somebody got a penalty. That would be the Dragon City Jammer got a penalty, leaving Dash unopposed on the track. Jammer of note. 4 Dragon City blockers to beat. 1 tripod there that is going to do some coordinated O at the front. Outside line, nice and easy. 4 points for Dash. This time Pivot City are taking that outside line, ready to come in and do some O if required. We now have 8 blockers on the track, full complement. We now also have 2 jammers on the track. Dash taking the inside line against the Dragon City tripod at the back of the pack. Sweeps to the out, gets knocked out, although initiator the block falls as well. Sides have had enough, calls it off. 18-point jam. That's a huge jam. I think that's the largest jam we've seen for today. 2 points there for Chicos. 21 points to Dragon City, 64 points to Pivot City. So Dragon City were ranked 4th in their pool, and Pivot City were the 3rd in their pool. So potentially we could be expecting this score differential. We now have Mad Pixie up against Sparks Are Right. Mad Pixie is clean and clear as the crowd goes wild. Sparks Are Right still battling against the green blockers. Has completed a star pass to KO. The pivot for Chicos, who is now donning the helmet as she skates around to score some points. Mad Pixie knocks to the outside, decides to call the jam. Was a full 4 points scored. Yes, 4 points to Pivot City, bringing them to 68. 21 points to Chico Rollers. We have 15:51 left on the period clock. Also a shout out to all the volunteers today. Roller derby doesn't run without the help and support of so many people off skates. Argy Bargy up against Bombshell. That's a matching I don't think we've seen yet today. Both taking the inside line. Argy Bargy going through unobstructed. Gets lead. Crossovering around the corners to come in for some points. Bombshell exiting the pack about 3/4 of a lap behind. Argy Bargy up against wall of green at the back, getting a little bit of help from red blockers. Comes out, gets her 4 points, pulls it off. 4 points unopposed for Chicos, 0 points for Pivot City. This looks like a nice, calm, cool, controlled game of derby today. Everybody's doing the things. Teams are getting used to how each other plays, seeing what works, what doesn't. We have Dash up against Smackaron now. Again, Pivot City preferring that on the jammer line, the back part of the pack start. Dragon City taking the front. Dash knocked to the outside and drawn back by KO. Recycles. And Dash is out for lead as Smackaron heads to the penalty box for, I think, is going to be a minute. So 1 minute for Dash, who has gotten the largest jam of the day so far, to score unopposed. This is not what Dragon City would like. Then again, Dash probably didn't like that lovely big hit by KO to the outside and the drawback either. All's fair in love and derby. Dash weaves from out to in. Back to the out again. Dragon City reform at the front of the pack. Just KO to face. Trips and falls, but manages to do all of that while staying in bounds. The pack has sped up quite substantially, trying to keep Dash back. Dash is out. Worked hard for those poor points. Well deserved. Decides to call it, leaving Smacker on iced in the box, and Pivot City will have a power start in the next jam. I'm going to say only a 4-point jam, but that's not true, is it? Every point is hard work. But 4 points there for Dash that time. I suppose I'm just comparing it to that 18 points scored previously. So we now have Pivot City in the lead on 72, to Dragon City 25, 13 minutes and some change. Oh, official review. We're all looking at the people at the scoreboard. I reckon somebody's got to go to the donut truck. I saw a queue out there before, so if you're coming down for donuts, get here earlier, I recommend. The donuts look absolutely amazing. All right, Mad Pixie lining up unopposed. We have a full complement of Dragon City blockers on the track. 3 Pivot City blockers. Dragon City have formed a tripod at the front with Razorback right in front of Pixie at the back. And great work from the Pivot City blockers, sort of this triangle formation that stopped the movement of the Dragon City tripod, and Pixie is out for lead and ready to score some points. Careens into the pack sideways, getting 2 points by just slicing through the butts. She's out for 4 points. Smackaron is now back on the track after her bit of a rest in the penalty box, facing a complement of 3 green blockers at the back of the pack. Dragon City coming back to do a little bit of O, shuffling down that inside line. Mad Pixie, however, back into the fray, scoots around the outside, pops through for another 4 points. Smackaron is out, her initial pass is complete. Just needs a 8-point catch-up to keep up with Pixie's score. And JR is here. You'll hear 2 dulcet tones. You'll be able to tell him being different to me, because I think his voice is a little bit lower. I'm going to guess. Morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing? How was the traffic?
It was there.
It was there.
It was there.
So let me bring you up to speed. We've
Excellent.
got Chico's on 26.
Nice.
We've got Pivot City on 83. Kind of what we'd expect, because Pivot City were 3rd in their pool. Chico's were 4th in their pool. And as we're doing that 3 versus 4 thing from both the pools this morning.
Sure.
We've now got Liz Williams up against Sparks Are Right. I was going to say as always, but not true. Dragon City is taking the back line this time in the pack. We've usually had it the other way around. We have Liz with 1 blocker to beat at the front. Screens on out. Lead jammer for Liz. Sparks Are Right. Getting that star off her head. Passing it to the pivot. KO. Pivot now. Jammer. Who's coming through, getting their 4 points. Oh, getting a forearm penalty. This means KO is going to jam for the full 2 minutes, something we love to see.
We do indeed.
There's always a star pass, and then somebody will call it before KO gets to jam, so...
One thing I like about KO, the versatility of this skater is just next level. Not only is KT a very capable jammer,
yes,
but as a blocker one-on-one, if you can get out the front and get past KT,
yeah,
you've done very well. Nicely done, KT, KO to the inside part of...
It's like a rite of passage, isn't it?
Yeah,
as a jammer, getting past KO at the front.
Yeah, 100%. I've just got to get my track bearings there. We are at the back part of this is 3 and 4. Okay, I'm good. I'm all over it.
1 blocker to beat, well out of play at the front. KO is scoring points like a jammer. Liz has returned from the penalty box. One hit to a red blocker, and then tiptoes through on that inside line. Was a scoring pass.
Nicely done there by KT KO on that previous pass coming off of turn number 1, just finding that gap to the inside as KT often does.
So the biggest jam of the day so far has been 18 points. KO is currently sitting on 16, so that is pretty amazing for a star pass. to have got as many points as
Absolutely.
one of the primary jammers. Ko being held up at the back of the...
Nice hit.
Big hit to the outside there on our Pivot City jammer. Did KO get the... How many did she get?
Looks like she just got the single
Just the
point.
one. Oh,
Yeah.
she's going to only have the second best jam of the day. So that was... no, 17 points to Chico. No, 17. Yeah, 17, 18. Yeah. 17 points. That was a nice big chunk of points there, bringing them up to 43. 8 points for Pivot City. Still in the lead. Oh, 10, sorry. 93 points to Pivot City. And we have 9 minutes left in this first period.
Wow. I don't know what to say because I've missed 2/3 of the first half. Anyway, not to worry. We've got a camera in front of us. This scares
We
me.
do. It's commentary cam.
Commentary cam.
Yes.
That means all the Derby fans at home will, at some point,
Potentially see us. And we can be
Potentially see us.
screenshot. I got sent a screenshot from the last one. It was
Oh, really?
highly embarrassing.
oh, okay.
It was not a flattering face. might
Okay,
I
and,
just
and,
say.
I've very much got beanie hair.
hair.
So that's,
Well, it's beanie weather, so I think that's completely acceptable.
That's going to be a look.
Plus,
Not necessarily a good one, but it's going to be a look, nonetheless.
plus we packed a small child in between. So we replaced you with a small child to
Oh,
start with.
excellent. So we see some of the members of the Ballarat Rat Pack making their way into the stadium. What a gorgeous day to be doing roller derby.
This is a
even though
gorgeous venue too.
It's
So
insane
light and
venue. It's
airy.
really nice.
So spacious. There's warm-up space and
Yeah.
track space. And the bench seating has got padding.
I know.
It's very luxurious.
I know indeed.
Rolling whistle. End of timeout.
They can only
Pivot
be-
City are eager. Yeah, you're in
Yeah.
the lead. You know, you
course.
want to go to the finals in a better game position than you started in the semis.
And of course, they'd be bringing in a lot of momentum after the last round, getting a very slender win over, I think it was KCR in the last round. That was
Last round had some really tight games.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was beautiful to watch.
So it's good to see that Pivot City are taking that momentum in. It's only 50 points, which in the grand scheme of things, it looks a lot.
Yeah.
Isn't all that much as we get jam number 15 underway. Harm.
We've got Bombshell up against Calamity June. This is the first jam for Calamity June today, and proving it was a good decision. Lead jammer. Bombshell pushed to the outside a couple of times. Recycle to the back of the pack. Facing solid wall of Chico blockers there at the back. June pushing the, I'm going to say there's a no pack situation. Pushing the Pivot City players right to the front.
Yep.
Bombshell out and overtaking, not lead jammer. 4 points scored for Calamity June. Are we running it? Are we calling it? We're calling it.
Yeah, June's had enough and going to deny Bombshell any points on that particular jam.
This is where you've got to make some decisions, isn't it? If you're 50 points behind. Okay, it's still fairly early in the game,
Yep.
but it's going to be a long slog to get 50 points back 4-0.
Yep.
Yes, the scoreboard's in a great spot if nobody's
I
standing in
love
front of it. Then otherwise we have to do this little dance.
I love it.
Argy Bargy versus Mad Pixie, a coupling that we've seen quite a lot today.
Yeah, okay. Of course, you know what you're going to get every time you see Mad Pixie on the track, and it's nothing short of 110%.
You get pure entertainment as well, I think, with Mad Pixie.
Yeah.
So we went back to the original configuration, Pivot City taking the back line of the pack, Dragon City out the front. Oh, KOK. KTKO tries for her special, the usual, a big hit to the outside at the front. Mad Pixie stays on one toe stop, inbounds, gets lead, comes around to get some points. Pivot City doing some great O as their jammer enters the pack, just enough to not let Dragon City reform.
Yep.
Argy Bargy sadly heading to the box. So power jam for Mad Pixie.
Not that Pixie really needs a power jam, but I can tell you.
Not what Chicos want.
No, absolutely not. But Pixie will take this any day of the week now as the pack coming through turns 1 and 2. Trying to find some space to the inside and successfully so, getting through. Nicely done, Mad Pixie. It's another 4 points heading the way of Pivot City.
Some great O there by Pivot City, keeping the red blockers apart, basically.
Yeah,
You're always stronger when you're with your friends.
absolutely.
So, where did the points fall on that guy? Jam.
Just the 8.
Looks 8-0, doesn't it?
8-0, yeah.
So 101 Pivot City, 47 Chicos. 6.5 minutes left in the period.
Nicely done too by Pixie. Just a quick glance across the track. Saw that Jammer was standing in the penalty box, which is still the case. And immediately called it off to give that Jammer start.
Yeah, they've iced the Jammer every time this game. Liz Williams ducking left, ducking right, or into the out, depending which way you're standing or sitting. Pivot City attempting to trap somebody at the back so that they've got the pack.
Yep.
Liz out for lead by turn 2. I believe we have Argy Bargy back on the track now, yes.
Yep.
Pushing against that wall of green at the back. Gets through and then wall of green and reforms at the front.
Yeah.
A little hop there by Liz to come round, 4 points.
Yeah, it was nicely done off the inside part
line,
of turn number 2. The penalty box now seeing some traffic. So the blocker advantage clearly going the way of Pivot City.
Liz only has 2 Chicos to beat there at the front and does so. Another 4 points. Much to their credit though, those Chicos went straight into offense to help their Jammer out the minute that Liz got past.
Yep.
That's what you want to see.
And straight away, the Pivot City blockers doing a heck of a job trying to hold up the Chico's Jammer there. As Liz has seen enough.
Big hit from Smacker on there.
Yeah.
Liz on her back, calling it off. 11 points scored for Pivot City. No points? No points. Oh, yes, for Dragon City. That's right. They started in the penalty box. I remember. 112 for Pivot City, 47 for our Chico Rollers. That lead's blown out a little bit more. Dash up against... That's Sparks, yes?
Yep.
Thanks.
Both Jammers very happy to see if they can't put some pressure on one another. Nice hit to the inside part of the track there by the number 99 there for Dragon City. And of course, that's in a pickle.
Sparks are right out for lead. Another big hit on Dash. To the outside being drawn back. Everybody bridging so KO can get further back.
Yep.
We had a no-pack situation there for a split second while KO was drawing back, and some people have been penalised for that.
Yeah.
Dash exiting the pack, a bit of a chase down by KO, decides that nope, they'll be able to play. Has to let Dash go.
Smart play.
Smackaron's going to try and get a few more points before Dash comes around to get some. Oh, inside was completely clear. Cruises on through, calls it off. That's what Dragon City need. 8 points to Dragon City, bringing them to 55. Scoreless in that jam. Pivot City 1-1-2.
And as silly as that sounds, sorry to just cut in there on your harm, if they can keep doing that, 8 points here, 10 points there, and if they can do that for, say, 3 or 4 jams.
They've closed it.
Yeah, just get up to 70, 80 points, go into half-time, have a look, reset.
That's the motivation you need, the momentum you need into half-time.
Yep.
But what do you do if you Pivot City and you just got 0 points in the previous jam? You put out Mad Pixie.
You put out Mad Pixie, and straight away, just like that, getting through, picking up lead, Jammer. It is Mad Pixie for Pivot City, not to be outdone.
Up against Calamity June.
Yeah.
Who was quite successful on their first jam. This is their second jam of the game. Pack speeds up to try and keep their points away from Mad Pixie. Oh, again, the O from Pivot City is the deal breaker, the game changer here. Just keeping Dragon City from reforming as their jammer enters the pack.
That's all right.
It's doing what it needs to do. Mad Pixie coming around for a second scoring pass, dancing to the inside, sliding to the out. Calamity June. Oh, that was actually a really good fall. When you can fall on your knees and your toes are almost going to drag out of bounds, but you keep them in the air so they don't touch out of bounds, that's a really clever skill.
It's called flexibility, I think, and that's something that I do not have in abundance at all.
It's like a magic jammer skill, I think.
It is. Speaking of the blockers for Pivot City, Bad Juju and Dakota Blocker is currently on the track and they're in amongst it. And the recycling that those skaters are doing to hold up the Dragon City jammer is pretty good, as we see the pack now coming down the back straightaway towards us here. Yeah, and there we go, again. Bad Juju again, just
beautiful throw on that inside line.
Yep.
Pixie untouched.
Yep.
Oh, June does a bit of a spin on the inside line on a curve, spins the opposite way to the curve. That requires balance and flexibility.
It does.
And also we can see here that like Pixie's running it, but if you've got a nice hefty lead, you can go 4 versus 4, and it really doesn't impact that lead in any way, shape or form. So we have a new winner for largest jam of the day.
Yes.
20-point jam to Mad Pixie. Not to be sneezed at. 13 points to Calamity June.
Yep. Nicely done there.
132
June.
Pivot City, 68 Dragon City. Only got a minute 21 on the clock. Is this somebody's official? Somebody called this? Maybe not. I cannot read the red writing to save myself.
No, I'm having a look across the track at the jam timer there. Beautifully done by Kick.
Oh, jam time. No, jam time is still doing official.
And it's the flexing bicep sort of arrangement going on there from our jam timer. Not our jam timer. Yeah, jam timer.
Yep. That hurts after a while. I've had to do a 7-minute one of those. My lord.
I did one at Pride Cup with for about 4.5 minutes. I swear I had arms like
that's
Popeye by the end of it. It was crazy.
That's right. So if you missed arm day this week, come down and volunteer as a jam timer.
That's it. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from these two teams. Don't look at the scoreboard. I'm just looking at the game as a pure game.
Oh, no, there's really smart derby gameplay happening.
I love it.
And, yeah, some great teamwork.
Absolutely.
Obviously some amazing individuals as well, but these are just two solid roller derby teams playing solid roller derby. So again, don't forget to head over to our stalls, support the people that support roller derby, and you want your raffle tickets.
You do.
And you want your donuts.
I saw that van when I drove in. I thought, this is just next level. That's going to get a lot of attention from me throughout the course of the day, I think.
Yep.
Don't mind a good donut and a nice coffee or a hot chocolate.
I'm not a fan of the filled kind of the
No?
No, not really, but give me the glaze any day.
Okay. I like the choc jam donut sort of arrangement. That's
yeah.
that's kind of
jam cool, hot jam cool.
Oh, okay,
It's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
those weird custardy things, but it's personal.
Oh.
Like if you like the custards, no
cool.
shade.
no judging here.
No judgment. Anyone to their own donut.
I tell you what I do like, Harmon, that's to our right, and it's a nice little serving of fans in the stand here this morning. So thank you one and all for coming along, and we trust that you are going to enjoy
Hopefully a day
semi-finals
of roller
actions.
derby. Yeah. Pivot City had to hustle then to get back on the track in time. We have Liz up against Argy Bargy. Dragon City taking the back line unusually. Liz skims through on the inside, straight through. Lead jammer before we even get to the first turn.
Nicely done.
Argy Bargy stuck in that tripod of green. Oop, somebody's getting a penalty. Not Argy Bargy. Through.
No,
Initial
I can't
pass
see.
complete.
Yep.
Liz Williams has KO at the front, unexpectedly.
And this is what I was talking about before, out front and by.
And the quick recycling to the back, and then
Yep.
once you get back on, they're back out the front again.
Yeah, exactly.
Liz surviving the onslaught from KO, scoring their 4 points, working hard for their 4 points.
Exactly.
Argy Bargy heading to the box. I think if we had the penalty stats here, we'd see that the Chico Jammers have been to the box way more than the Pivot City Jammers.
I might chase it up at half time to see if we've got any info. Lead jammer v penalty box.
Obviously, a difference in penalty stats for Jammers has a potentially big impact on the scoreline.
Of course it does.
There
Absolutely
we go.
does.
Look at that, icing the jammer again. So that means the second half will be starting with the Chico City Jammer. Chico City. Dragon City Chico Roller. I left home at 6:10 this morning. A little bit.
Well, we broke up our drive. We drove to Melbourne last night, had a night at the theatre.
Fancy.
Yeah, it was. Very nice show indeed.
Awesome. Well, this is going to bring us to half time. We have our Chicos on 67, our Rangers on 138, and we have a game on our hands. I reckon if Dragon City have a bit of a pep talk, they've got a chance.
As I said, you know.
What is it? A slow-mo kind of a...
Yeah.
You need a montage.
All it takes is 1 or 2 power jams, and you can get 20 points here and there, and all of a sudden you can eat into that gap, and we definitely have a game on our hands.
Still great derby to watch either way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, we'll see you back here at about 10 minutes' time, I reckon.
Sounds good.
All right.
Common training Cam is pretty much JR and Riley, so he sounds.
And we're back, Derbyverse.
We are back indeed.
30 seconds until Derby recommences.
Whoa, there you go. There's some.
And
there's some
I think I prefer us muffled in-house.
yes.
So we're actually going live to the stream, and you can hear us in the auditorium today.
We can indeed.
Cringe. So we have got 18 minutes left of half time. We left you with Pivot City in the lead at 138 after a nice 8-point jam to Mad Pixie, and 67 points for Chico Rollers, and their jammer sitting in the penalty box.
So ideal start, Pivot City, not so Dragon City. They will be looking to hopefully minimising the damage that Pixie is more than capable of doing. Pixie, on the other hand, will be looking to get through the pack nice and quick, and of course the blocker advantage rather.
To Pivot City as
Sitting
well.
nicely with Pivot City.
I only have 3 Chicos on the track at this time, and they're kind of, again, being separated already by the Pivot City blockers. Pivot City Rangers. Pivot City Rangers, if you're just joining us because you had a nice bit of a sleep in on this Saturday morning, Pivot City is in the green and Chico Rollers are in the red.
Yep. So let's get jam number 1, period 2 underway.
Pixie
Nice.
skims on the outside around KTKO's, what we call it's actually a long bottom.
Long bottom, okay.
Sort of when you do the, the catch sideways,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
you've got your whole back as part of your bottom.
Okay, righto. I guess every team has their own little...
Oh, lingo and terminology.
Lingos?
Yeah. Pixie running away from KO with her 4 points. Argy Bargy makes it through for initial pass. Up and is going back to the box. Oh my lord! I just got handed a donut that has a slogan on it. If you can't play nice, play roller derby.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Well, we might just...
I'd like to think. Yeah, I was going to say I like to think nice people can play derby.
Yeah. What's even more worrying is Riley's giving you back the credit card. I don't know what's going on there.
Well, intermission was a short time, and I had to send her out to get her own donuts.
Nice. Speaking of the donuts in the coffee van, my lovely wife got me a cappuccino. Yummy too.
Good coffee.
Indeed.
Big sweep on the outside from the Pivot City blockers, allowing Pixie to glide through. Up. That was points number 9 through 12, I believe. Argy Bargy hits a pack after coming back from the box, starting in the box this jam, going back to the box this jam.
Yeah.
So that's well over 30 seconds that they haven't been able to score points in this jam.
Yeah.
Oh,
And of course, whilst all that was happening for Bargy, on the previous pass, Pixie just looking across the track, now getting the call-off sign and minimising the damage in terms of Argy Bargy being able to add any score to the scoreboard.
so 16 points for Mad Pixie in that jam. It's a nice way to start the jam.
Absolutely.
Pivot City. Motivational for them, demotivational for the opposing team.
Yep. So an official timeout. Probably a good idea whilst we have a few seconds up our sleeve. Big shout out to 2 skaters who aren't here today, of course. Rainbow Bash and Storm representing Junior Team Junior Australia.
Yes.
Yes, big round of applause. And of course, for all the Derby fans that have been following
Yeah,
the
if
Derby
you didn't
overseas.
have enough Derby today, you were watching it
Oh.
last night. They were having their 30-minute
Yeah.
rounds for their pools and their placing. Australia won 2 of those, yes.
Yes, they have, over England and Canada.
Canada is a tall team, by the way,
Yeah.
very tall team.
Unfortunately, the US got a hold of us, but you'd expect that with the US team. They are super, super strong. So congratulations to those 2 skaters. We are thinking of them as we get jam number 2 underway.
And remember, you can watch them again tonight, I think.
Yeah,
So
they'll be on the game.
watch All Day Today Sale and then
Go
head back
home
to
and-
France to watch.
Head back to France. We're going from Sale to France.
Yes,
There's
very
a-
exotic locations.
There's
Chico is getting lead in the second jam. It's Calamity June, if I'm not mistaken. Up against Liz. Liz
Liz.
Williams trying to stay in bounds on the outside. Unsuccessful. Recycle to the back of the pack. Looks like they've put Smack into the blocking lineup, taking him
Yeah.
off jamming. I think that was a bit of a penalty spiral there.
It's not phasing Calamity June too much. Nicely done. 4 more points on that previous pass. Liz also not to be outdone, gets through the pack.
Tricked Razorback into thinking a star pass was happening. She went after the pivot. All right, no, one sneaky point scored by Liz there for Pivot City, as Calamity June tried to call it off with her 8 points. So that brings Chico Rollers up to 78, Pivot City 155. We have Dash now up against Sparks, a riot. Dragon City taking the front lines. This is what we saw most of in the first half. Dragon City on the front line, Pivot City at the back.
Okay.
Changed up once or twice, but Sparks being stopped at the back by Bombshell and I'm unsure of the other blocker. Can't see the number. Lost. Either way, Dash got through for lead, coming around for their scoring pass, using a battering ram with one of their other blockers to try and avoid KO.
Yeah.
Hiding behind them. It's a good strategy, I
Yep.
think. However, it is keeping pack. It's maintaining pack, though. So
Yeah.
at one stage, you probably need to tell your battering ram to run back to the pack so that KO becomes out of play.
Yes.
And you can get free without touching them. Sparks are right. Also in the pack, scoring some points. Dash dodging KO. Going around, making another lap.
Yep.
Pivot City has reformed now. They've got that tripod. They've got that sitting on Sparks. Dash is back here again with KO at the front.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, big hit to the outside
big hit to
part
the outside.
of, what was it, turn 3?
Yep, both feet off the ground, landing on knees. Recycling all the way to the back. Not the back of the pack, like 20 feet behind the back.
Yeah, it's almost back into turn 2, and Dash has seen enough and thought, nah, that'll do,
That's
mate.
the luxury of a lead, isn't it? The whole, nope, I cannot be bothered facing KO again.
Yep.
We've got some points. We've got enough points sitting there. I don't have to face her again.
Yeah. So just the 4 points then for Chico's, moving them along to 82-7 for Pivot City.
Argy Bargy versus Mad Pixie. This is a very common reoccurrence in this game. Dragon City taking the back line when Pixie's there. Smart, try not to let her have any run-up whatsoever. Sadly, not necessary a run-up.
No.
Skips to the outside, lead jammer before we get off the straightaway.
Pixie's one of those skaters, it doesn't matter, you can take the negative space away from them and get that run-off, take that run-off advantage away. But Pixie's such a strong skater.
Yeah, all those years of CrossFit, man.
Yeah. she'll find a way through the pack. And that's exactly what she did to obtain lead jam, and it's 4 more points in for Pixie and Pivot City.
Argy Bargy being held very effectively at the front of the pack by that green tripod. Their force blockers coming in, doing a bit of defense, doing some O when Pixie comes around, coming back in again. Star pass has occurred. Smack has the star in their hand.
Go the blocker taking a bit of a tumble here in front of us. Nice apex jump
Beautiful.
from Mad Pixie.
Textbook apex jump.
Yep. Unfortunately for Bad Juju, it's a visit to the penalty box.
Smackaron has come through, done 2 side surfs down the inside line, scored 4 points.
Yeah, nicely done by Smackaron to pick up 4 points there for Dragon City.
Looks like Pivot City are letting it run. They've got the lead, can go 4 for 4, and I suppose Smack got taken off the jamming lineup, so leaving them jam may be like a mindset kind of a choice.
Yeah, could be.
Although it's always worth trying to run a jam against a pivot normally. Normally the pivots are not trained primary jammers and you have more success, but
Yeah.
I think Dragon City's proved that's not the case with KO
Yep.
and Smacks in the role.
Pack now making its way down the back straight away. Just the one more blocker to get through. Pixie does that with a smile.
She does everything with a
She
smile.
does everything with a smile. Even calls off a jam with a smile.
Thrown in the air, rolls on the ground, smiling, smiling, smiling.
Yep. So again, Mad Pixie piling on the points. It's a 20-point jam stretching out the lead. Pivot City 182. And with the 9 points for Dragon City, moving them along to 91.
So obviously rankings are back with Woofter Roller Derby, and we've had to think about how we score points a little differently now because it's based on percentages and
Percentage,
ratios.
yep,
So here
yep.
in my head, I'm like, oh, twice their score, what would that mean? It's quite different in a game of roller derby where if they get 4 points and you need to be 3 times their score, you need 12. That's very
Yes.
different to winning.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, 90 points, but 90 points either way is a big thing to come back from, whether that's double
yeah.
the score or whether you're behind by 90.
Yeah.
So we had Liz up against Calamity June. Liz is heading to the penalty box for Pivot City. Calamity June having a bit of a roll on the floor with the pivot from the Pivot City Rollers.
That's it.
Oh, tongue twisters today. I haven't had enough coffee for that.
Of course, the pivot you speak of, Melonhead,
Thank you.
very strong skater, strong blocker.
Dragon City clears that inside line for Calamity June. She comes down unscathed. nice. I don't want to say easy ever. Like easy relative to how roller derby is. That's
Yeah.
the easiest way to get points. It doesn't make it easy. Your blockers
No.
did some work for you there. Like you still needed the endurance and the stamina and the brain to do it. But
Oh, 100%.
it's as easy as roller derby gets.
Yeah.
Oh, two strong tripods almost at a standstill here right in front of us. Green tripod at the front with Calamity June stuck behind. Oh, now it's only a red blocking duo at the back with Liz behind, returned from the penalty box. It is KO though, so I think she counts for about 6, so
Yep.
it's not really a duo at all.
There's no such thing as getting past KO easily in a game of roller derby. It just does not happen.
Agreed.
She's such a strong skater. And look at this, one-on-one, out the front. This is textbook KTK. Oh,
Out
just
of play,
finding
has
out.
to let them
Had to
go.
let him go being out of play. But up to that point,
But that's years of also just experience, isn't it? It's just derby instinct now. Like,
yep.
just doesn't, like, I'm sure they work hard and I know they're very skilled and talented, but
Yeah.
the way it looks so easy, it's just second nature nowadays.
And
Poor
that's-
Calamity June is still pushing on that Pivot City tripod, crawling her way forward. This has been almost a lap. They were
Yep.
in front of us when we started with this super slow tripod movement. Oh,
Oh. And
Calamity June is going to deserve the
Yeah.
shower beer tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So we have 8 points on the board for Calamity, 3 points on the board for Liz. So that's 99 Chicos, 185 Pivot City Rangers.
Interesting point that you made too, about a skater like KT who has that ability to make the ridiculous look seemingly easy when it's, and that's, I love that in a sports person. You see it in AFL, you see it in all sorts of other sports. These athletes that just have an amazing skill, and KT is certainly one of those athletes.
I agree. So we have Bombshell exiting the pack not as lead, and we have Sparks of Riot coming in for some points at the back. Was knocked out and recycled. Both jammers. Bombshell, nice easy pass on the inside. Smucker calling it as per the bench said, but a little bit late, I think. I think the bench was saying do it before Bombshell gets there. So Bombshell stealing, I'm assuming the full 4. 1 point,
1 point.
to Dragon City. Also looks like we are now going to be using a manual video of the scoreboard for you. Do we have picture in picture? We're working on getting you the scoreboard. 3. You're a problem solver. This is out of the box thinking.
It is.
Where there's a will, there's a way. So the scoreboard's been manually updated for a little while, and now we're going to try and get you a video feed of the scoreboard in the room, which is functional. Meanwhile, Mad Pixie.
Doing Mad Pixie things, getting through the pack nice and quickly, jammer.
Up against Argy Bargy. How does that talk go, like when you're doing your lineups and stuff and you say to Argy Bargy, every time Mad Pixie goes out, you're up against him?
Providing they haven't incurred a penalty from the previous jam, yeah.
But it's been pretty much a match up the whole
Yep.
game. What if you're told in advance? What would your face look like? You're like, every time Mad Pixie's out, you're up against them. I don't know if I could keep my facade up.
Me personally, I run by that old adage, if you want to be the best, you've got to
Oh
beat
yeah,
the best.
challenge.
So
Yeah. You'd be like,
accept
bring
the
it.
challenge, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, why go in defeated? Like, they're going to win if you go in defeated, right? If you don't
Exactly.
believe in yourself.
Yep. Your mindset shot before you even tried to
That's
do anything.
right.
So
You couldn't succeed if you went in that way. So you
Yep.
have to be like, bring it.
Yep.
Let me show you I'm as good as Mad Pixie, if not better. So Mad Pixie coming around for their 3rd scoring pass.
Oh, Pixie wasn't expecting that hit to
No,
the
sneaky knock to the
outside
outside. She was too busy
yeah.
looking forward to KO and one of the other Chico City blockers. Chico City. I've got them all confused.
Chico City again. Let's go.
Dragon City.
Dragon City, there you go.
The home of Chico's City.
Yep.
Wow, the offense from Pivot City there, taking all of those Dragon City blockers out
Yeah.
at the same time. Chase down attempt from KO, being out of play, having to stick the hands above the head and let them go. We all know that feeling.
Yeah. KT coming off with a bit of a wry smile, like, oh, damn it, nearly got it.
So we have 104 points with the Chico Rollers to 201 with our Pivot City Rangers.
And we've got, what, 17, 20 remaining in this game.
Exactly when you said 20, we had 20 remaining.
They say in comedy, timing's everything, right?
Commentary.
Commentary,
all that stuff.
comedy, same. Jam
So-
number 8 it is then. Harm, sorry to cut you in.
No, it's all good. We have Liz getting lead while Argy Bargy is returning from the box.
Okay, this is a bit different from Argy Bargy. Let's see what happens here, how this plays out.
Yeah, as today we are live stream and in-house commentators, we
Yes.
can't call all of the action
No.
in the room at the same time because we
No.
can't let if the teams happen to be listening to us and we give a strategic advantage, we have very bad commentators.
Yes,
So sometimes we have to wait for a piece of action to finish before we can call it.
and we won't get paid.
Because this is such a hard paying rule. But yeah, so if you're on the live stream and going, why are you not telling me that thing that's happening
Yeah.
on the track right now? It'd be because we're not telling the people in the room that thing is happening right now. Can tell you Liz has gone to the penalty box though, which leaves Argy Bargy a bit more resources, I suppose.
Yeah.
So they did do a bit of a stash there. This was the elephant in the room we weren't talking about.
Yes.
And this Jammer Star is going back on their head. They've got through unscathed.
There comes Yo then from the Chicos trying to bust up the Pivot City blockers and try and make a pathway there.
But strong defence and the reforming from the Pivot City Rangers has been amazing.
Yep. Unfortunately for Pivot City, it is.
Argy Bargy sitting in the box, and was that a 1 full minute that Argy Bargy will be sitting there?
Yeah, so the penalty and an insubordination, unfortunately for Argy Bargy.
Liz getting through for some points. The tripod was pushed out of play.
Yeah, that won't phase Liz too much. It'll be all about scoring points then.
And we've got a full minute to do so unopposed.
Well, not only that, it'll be a good probably 45 seconds.
Yeah.
They're going to have
Power start in the next jam.
Yeah, meaning Pivot City are going to have on a jam start. So
3/4 time, 15 minutes remaining in period 2. 104 point for our, what am I calling them today? Chico City?
Chico City, yeah.
209 for our, can I call them pivot rollers? Will that make it wrong?
Pivot City and Pivot Rollers. That's
No.
Chico City and Pivot Rollers. There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh,
How to confuse everybody.
confused myself. So our Dragon City Chico Rollers have 104 and our Pivot City Rangers have 209. Quite a decent lead, 105 if my math is correct.
Yep, we'll go with that.
The biggest jam we've had today is a 20-point jam, so that's at least 5 20-point jams, which is kind of tricky to fit into the remaining 15 minutes without the other team scoring anything.
Well, the only way you're going to do that is if you're on a power jam and you're putting the opposing jammer in the big.
I don't know, my goal as a blocker is to make it a power jam for my jammer without the other jammer leaving the track.
Yep.
It's like a pseudo power jam.
Yep. Are we under an official view?
Yeah, there's a red thing over there. The jam timer's doing the bicep curls.
No, just an official
There's
timeout. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But there's no flashing dots.
No flashing dots.
Checking the 3 places.
That's exactly right.
And nobody's going into the middle for a chat.
Of course, we've got a massive program of roller derby to get through today.
Semi-finals.
Up next on track, it is going to be BRDL Ballarat Roller City Derby. They're going to take on.
Roller City. I've got you saying City now too.
I know. Ballarat Roller City Derby. There's
love
a
it.
new team. We don't know about it.
Are they playing
Northeast Roller
yeah.
Derby. They
So
are.
this is the other 3-4 game.
Yep.
So this
Yep.
time it is the player 4 from the Pivot City pool.
Yep.
And Nerd is from the Dragon City pool. They're number
Yep.
3. So technically Nerd's going in with, as you would expect Nerd to be, that they're the higher seed.
Yep.
So as Pivot City here is the higher seed. Although the game I'm looking for today, and I'm totally biased, is pool placing number 5 versus pool placing number 5. We're playing for last place, or not last place.
Yep.
Playing for second last.
Yeah.
Dash using their battering ram again. They're going to do it. Oh, not quite.
Nicely done though to the inside part of turn number 2 for Bash.
It did
But
make the job harder
not-
for KO.
Yeah.
Is it Bash or Dash? Sorry.
I see Dash. What did I say, Bash?
Yeah, I think so.
If I said Bash, I do apologise.
No, I thought you might know their name, and I did just read it wrong.
Yeah, no, I definitely pronounced it wrong, so I do again apologise to that skater.
Dash just got KO taking their battering ram again. I think this is a good strategy, but I think you need to pull your offensive player out and put KO out of play faster.
Yeah.
We're maintaining the pack here for longer than we need to.
So now KA's got a nice advantage skating backwards.
Yeah, I think probably speed helps KO in a way.
It does. Very strong
We
backwards
must
skater.
have a split pack or somebody out of play now. We have two groups
Surely.
of skaters 40 feet apart on the track.
There's got to be huge.
I don't know. I think the back was the greatest. Oh no, who's getting... Refs are catching up. Like, that was fast moving. We don't
Yeah.
see a lot of that. So kudos to all the refs trying to keep up with that pack definition.
Knives to meet you, one of our referees in the middle. I'm not sure if Knives is our head ref today. Yes.
I believe so. That's what the
So-
paper says.
Yep.
So again, we're trying the strategy again.
Yep.
Oof.
Oh, two big hits coming onto the main straightaway. Unfortunately, we have a
Looks like we have a skater
pivot city
down.
skater.
Let the people who need to do their job do their job. Sweet. So let us again do a shout out to our volleys and our photographers
Yes.
and everybody that makes roller derby possible. Obviously, our on skates officials, our off skates officials.
Yep.
We love you guys. What kind of raffle prizes did they have, Riley? Sorry, my daughter's sitting next to me. She went off to buy raffle tickets before. There was some great stuff, wasn't there? There was lots of lollies and wine.
Chopper chops.
Chopper chops. You put your ticket in with the chopper chops?
Nice.
Wine and also
Yeah, well, you don't get the wine, but the chopper chops, yeah. And there was a bath bomb that you eyed off there, I saw.
I
Yes.
like the gel.
Gel, what kind of gel? Was it slime? I don't like slime in my house.
But I put my raffle ticket.
Oh, you put your raffle ticket in there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So some great raffle ticket prizes, especially if you're a 6-year-old that likes to drink wine. I do not condone.
I like wine.
As
One
you said before.
day you might.
What's the name of our donut van? Somebody hold the box up for me. They have like a huge selection.
It's Big Bears.
Big
donuts.
Bears,
But
Big
that's
Bears.
That's what's on their coffee cup.
Yeah, no, that's definitely
I can tell you
their
now,
branding.
their
on the
coffee
box.
is very, very nice.
Good coffee. The selection of donuts they had out there, it looks like the bakery truck with rows and rows of...
It's an enormously good setup.
And the queue is huge. As I said, if you were coming down today for the last game, get here a couple of games early so that you get some donuts, because I do think they will sell out.
So you two both brought your spouses with you to fetch donuts.
We did.
Yes.
I did not make that.
Aw.
Or bring somebody to buy donuts whilst you're watching the derby. This is what we've learned.
Commission someone to buy drinks and donuts throughout the course of the day.
That's a good idea. If you could put a
A nice little remuneration at the end of it
Yeah,
for
little-
them. I'm
little
sure that
price tag on top.
Yeah, nice.
come in with donut getter,
Yep.
donut finder's fee.
Non-skating officials in this one. Whilst we have a bit of time up our sleeve, bullseye kick, Crystal, Strawberry, short skate, Bonnie, Muggles, Abby Normal, hypodermic, Achilles wheel, Frankenherder.
I called them hypoderm milk before, my bad. And then our skating officials, as we said, nice to see you, is our head on skates ref today.
Yep.
We have Gary, Bussy the Vampire Slayer, Executioner, Rickamortis, Pee-wee, Mayhem, and our alternate ref is Disaster Chief.
Big shout out to all the rest. Big shout out to our medical team who are unfortunately on a track at the moment. But without our medical staff here today, Derby fans, we can't go roller derby, and they do keep all of our skaters safe. So we do appreciate them and the time that they give up so freely. So thank you very much to our medical team here today.
Don't we pay first aiders? Depends on the first aider.
I guess so.
I think
Maybe.
Statewide Stampede is one of the places where they are. There's a minimum level.
Okay.
And yeah. But if you're a first aider that volleys at your local league, thank you.
Yes, 100%.
We cannot run training without our volley first aiders.
No.
Again, I see Hawkeye floating around with the camera. And
He was.
also
He's actually working the floor at the moment. And,
well, he shouldn't be taking photographs of a medical timeout, so that's good. We also
No.
today we'll have Scout from Alrighty Production House coming. I don't think Phil from Looper the Loser is coming today, but shout out to Phil, amazing derby photographer.
yeah.
It looks like this could be a bit an extended timeout. We're just getting told by the officials.
So we'll take a bit of
might
a break, I think. And
Come back to you when we're back to some roller derby.
yeah.
And we've had the rolling
We are
whistle.
back.
That is a 38-minute timeout.
Yep.
I believe Grazed Anatomy has left the building.
Yes.
In good spirits. It was a beautiful moment where
Yep.
she did a lap of honour like you do at the end of a roller derby game with
Yeah.
both teams on the
Yep.
outside line,
Offering up a high five. So
giving her a high five on her way out.
we wish Greys all the very best. Skaters now back out on track. They're just going to do a bit of a warm-up, obviously.
This
That-
venue's been great though. They
Yeah.
have been able to stay skating over on court number 4.
Yep.
Been plenty of room to stay active. I cannot comment on how that delay is going to impact the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's...
I'm not sure if there'll be a set delay on the start times of the next games or how that will happen.
Yeah,
But suffice to say, this game is going to continue.
that's it. So from a skater's point of view, and I feel I can ask this question quite comfortably, if you're in that position, everything's going along nice, I'm speaking of all things momentum, then you have a 38-minute break. What does that do, like, to you as a skater or as a team? Do you then, how do you keep focus? How do you keep everything where it was before we went into that?
I can
that
definitely
situation?
only speak to like the way my league handles sort of
Yeah.
game plan mindset.
Yeah.
And we try and treat every jam as a separate incident anyway.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
the previous jam, any mistakes you forget about, any learnings you take on board, but we're playing one piece at a time and you're trying to play in the moment.
Yep, okay.
So yeah, it's very much, again, I guess, about just reminding yourself about that. The next jam is the next jam. You just
Yep.
got to do the next thing that needs to happen.
Yeah,
And you do have to compartmentalise everything that's just
happened, yeah. One thing that's always fascinated me about sports, team sports, football, cricket, roller derby, whatever it might be, I love the mental, I love the mindset, I love how athletes think and what challenges them mentally.
Derby is so much mindset.
Oh.
It is.
Yep.
Half of it, yeah, definitely roller skating and doing things on skates requires some skills. But what makes a team and what makes a team successful
Yep.
is that mindset, that ability to work together, that ability to play in the present. We did some sports psych stuff way before COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yep.
had people coming in and we did specific training on sports psychology
Yeah.
purely to like lift our game, because so much of it, when it comes down to at training, you don't get to practice the pressure really of a gameplay situation. And
Yeah.
and the thing I love about playing other teams is the unpredictability.
Yes.
When you train with the same people over and over, you know people's strengths, you know people's weaknesses, and this
Yeah.
whole having to play on the fly and think on the fly
Yeah.
and combat stuff that you couldn't predict. Like you can watch every game that they've ever played beforehand, and that's still not going to 100% prepare you for what happens on the day.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, I think for me this would be very much about coming back, focusing on what worked well for us before we stopped. You wouldn't mention the big gap, basically. You'd just
sure.
pretend that had been a timeout or pretend that had been half
Yep.
time again.
Sure. So the Pivot City roller skaters?
Yes.
Pivot City are now back out on track. They've elected to go back out and
Do a bit of a gameplay warm-up.
do a bit of a gameplay warm-up.
Chicos are talking.
Chicos are happy to have a chat.
One's a physical warm-up, one's a mental warm-up, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I was once told that roller derby is 90% mental, 10% skill set.
Yeah, it's got it's a huge impact.
Yeah. Which I found to be fascinating. What I also found fascinating, this is going back many, many years ago, about playing roller derby at this level, and the person who I was speaking to was not a very sporty person, and the comment was, how can you say that these participants are athletes? And I said, well, mate, if you want to try and do what they do,
Yeah.
go for it, because I know a lot of people that can't even stand on roller skates, let alone roller skate. I said, these roller skaters are athletes. They never have to, never should they feel the need to have to defend themselves as athletes. They
No.
are. They might not be of the higher end, like your AFL football player or whatever.
It's still a different amount of endurance required. The 2 minutes on, 30 seconds off.
Yep.
That means your recovery rate is absolutely huge.
Not a lot, yeah.
And if you don't treat your body, if you're not hydrating and eating the right things before a game, you cannot survive a game.
Yep.
Just your body gives out.
And not only that too, you're using your leg muscles and
Core,
your core and your
all that
pelvic muscles
bracing.
so much differently to what you would normally do in
Oh,
your
yeah, it's
normal
not
day.
walking.
It's not walking. Your muscles were never designed to do what these skaters are doing. So you're right. There's what?
Apparently the
This-
Mexican food truck
The
has
Mexican
arrived.
food truck has arrived. Well, that has made me happy. Very happy. There's
That's
food.
lunch
Yes.
plan sorters.
Yes.
All right, here
Here
we
we
go. 13 minutes remaining on the game. 216 to Pivot City, 104 to Dragon City. Mad Pixie jamming alone. That looked, again, way too easy. But
Way
that
too
was,
easy.
That was. Sometimes I say, the blockers get the blockers create the points, the jammers score the points. Like they
Yep.
collect the points.
Yeah.
Blockers make the points, jammers collect the points, and her blockers did just wrap that tripod so she could walk around it.
Yeah, 100%. Nicely done by Pixie on that previous pass. It's a nice little weave to the inside or to the middle section of the back straightaway to collect the 4 points. And again, just trying to find some territory, and nicely done to the outside part of turn 3. It's 4 more points for Pivot City. Calamity June also jamming on track now for Dragon City. The initial pass is done for June, so it's all points from here on in.
12
So-
of them already to Pixie.
Yep,
Make that 16.
not to be outdone. June picking up, Calamity June that is, of course, picking up 4 more points for Dragon City. As the pack now slowly coming through turns 1 and 2, so at the far end of the track to where we are commentating. And it's Pixie again picking up 4 more points for Pivot City.
Pivot City only having 2 blockers on the track at the moment. We haven't seen that very often. They've kept themselves very clean this game.
Yeah. So the threat of the most points per jam is very real here, Harm.
Oh, she's
as-
battling herself. It's a PB.
Yeah, it is. It currently sits at 20 for Pixie, but that is about to change.
Yeah, a couple more grabbed on that last pass. And by couple, I mean 2, 3.
2, 3.
3. New record for this game. 23 points scored in a jam, but 16 from Chico in that same
Yeah.
jam. So quite a small points differential as far as the jam itself goes.
Yep.
Sadly, on the scoreboard, quite a large points differential. 120 to Chico's, 239 to Pivot City. Oh my God. 1-0. KTKO lining up with the star. Up against Liz Williams for Pivot City.
This can be nothing short of
Well, it's-
entertaining.
Trepidatious to start with. KO. As-
Straight for the seam, as KO always does. Tries to split those blockers up.
Oh. Heading on out. Lead jam over KO by turn 2. Liz 10 feet behind.
And closing.
Yep, closing rapidly.
Both these jammers have got a nice head of steam about them as they come into turns 1 and 2. Oh,
Oh,
not quite
I think
there
an
from KT.
unsuccessful apex jump there from KO. Liz battling one last red blocker at the front. KO recycled to the back because of that failed apex jump.
I was watching KO, then she saw Liz go to the outside and I thought, oh God, she's got points where I think KO was going to call it off, but realised that the
Yeah,
opposing
too late.
jammer,
She'd already got them.
she was like,
Oh,
already
did
got
you
him.
leave that too late? You could see a strategy
So-
brain coming into it. I'm going to
Yeah.
battle for my points as long as I possibly can.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure Liz got an extra point or 2. 6, yeah. So 6 points to Pivot City. Stealing 2 at the... No. Yes, no,
Yep.
no. Yeah, 6. Stealing 2 there. KO had managed to get 3 out of the 4 points
Yep.
that she needed on that pass. 123 plays 245. 9 minutes 35 remaining on this clock. Bombshell up against Sparks, yes?
Sparks, yep.
This is not the best angle to see the back of the jammer jerseys at the
No.
start of the jam.
Looking-
Bombshell.
Yeah, nicely done by Bombshell there, looking for some territory to the inside part of turn 2. Gets on through, lead jammer.
Sparks tiptoeing on the inside line, still on turn 1.
Is that a
Still,
penalty?
yeah,
Oh,
I
it
think
is.
Bombshell crashed into the back of the
Yeah.
pack a little bit illegally. Is now heading to the penalty box,
Yeah.
leaving Sparks 30 seconds of unopposed jamming time. Well, not unopposed. There's 4 blockers that want to stop her, but
True. But a good opportunity then for Sparks to grab some points for Dragon City. And
it's kind of the opposite of unopposed. It means your friends are now going to help you versus
Yes.
they're going to be too busy with the other jammer
yep,
team, though.
yeah,
So-
true.
So we just had Smack out of play. Great strategy.
Mm.
Just needed to yell to her teamies to come back. I've got the pack.
Yep.
And then you control the pack, and all those people trying to oppose your blocker are out of play at the front. It's a lovely situation, one I highly encourage.
Yeah.
Razorback bridging the tripod of green at the back with Smack behind them, whilst Bombshell gets out at the front, earns herself 4 points, and goes around for some more.
Yeah,
Oh, that was a little
That
bit
was-
easier that time.
That was nicely done from Bombshell, taking to the outside part of turn number 1 to get those 4 points on that previous pass.
Oh, nice hit to the outside there by Smack, stirring Bombshell back again. Not Smacks. No, that's Smack, yes. It's
No,
Smack and
Smack.
Spark. I'm getting Smacker on and Spark. Spark's a riot. Many points for everybody. We had 6 points for Dragon City. Sorry, there's 2 refs and I'm dodging, ducking, diving, weaving. And 11 points for
6 to
Pivot
11,
City.
yeah. I was trying to cheat, look on my camera here, but even that doesn't tell.
That camera is at the same angle as our eyeballs.
Well, it is, so trying to get a better view looking at the camera is only going to show me the same thing as what you were saying. That was, we couldn't see the
Rigor
scoreboard.
mortis. So that's 256 for Pivot City.
Yep.
Nice, decent lead. 129 to Chico Rollers with only 7 minutes left on the clock. We have stopped the clock. We've got the official hand signal happening. Oh, as she says it, it is unstopped.
Unstopped.
Actually, that's not true. The
Yep.
Mad Pixie up against, I'm going to say.
And it's quick.
Yeah.
It's, I don't, and it's a
Oh,
power
and we
jam
have
too.
a power jam. The penalty box. Dragon City forming up defense front. Pivot City, what are they going to do? Going to come in, do a little bit of offense to the outside.
Yep.
Mad Pixie one to beat at the front. Ah, beautiful duke around.
Yeah.
Classic Pixie.
Yeah, it was pretty easy for Pixie once the offense came in.
Once
thick
they
and
get them
fast.
moving, yeah.
Yep, it's
And we should have predicted that, icing the opposing jammer in the penalty box.
Yep. Yeah, it's an interesting comment you make about Pixie and how she would envisage her start. You and I both know, possibly some of the Derby fans at home know, from the jammer line to the pivot line, if you can hold a jammer up, you can take 20, 25, 30 seconds off the clock.
Oh, one of your most favourite things to do if
Yeah.
the other jammer's in the penalty box, like a penalty kill,
Yeah.
so you've got to maintain a jammer.
Yep.
You're aiming to you want to hold the jammer for 2 minutes, let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah. There's only one skater I've seen do that successfully, and she now calls the US home. We'll talk about Tui Line later on, maybe. So we get jam number 14 underway, Harmon. Looks like we
Liz.
have Liz.
Up against KO. Who's going to the box for whatever they did. They had a...
They come into
I'm
the
not-
box
I don't
holding,
know.
their
Face.
mouth, yeah.
I think they thought that
Interesting.
penalty should have gone the other
Yep.
direction, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Respectfully disagree, refs, would be the take on that.
So we may see some action at the end of this jam in the form of an official review, but I'm not going to call that.
No, not in my
It's
place.
not for me.
So we have Calamity June exiting not lead on their initial pass. Liz coming through, getting their 4 points on their scoring pass. We now have one green blocker heading to the box, so it's 3 on 3.
Yep.
Oh, beautiful offense there by the Chico Rollers. Calamity June skimming along the inside line. Quick
Yeah.
reform to try and stop Liz. Unsuccessful.
Similarly to Pixie, June doesn't need that much room to be able to execute her skill set. Very, very good jammer.
Yeah, it's much sort of a dark horse style of jamming.
Yeah.
It's not as jumpy and flashy as showy, but just as successful.
Yeah. No, she's a lovely skater to watch.
So did that actually end up as even as the scoreboard is currently indicating? At the moment, scoreboard says 8 apiece for
Yeah.
each jammer. Which is good work from the Chicos if they started up 9 to 8. But Chicos did start in the penalty box.
Yeah.
So to keep the same kind of a score as the team that did not start in the penalty box.
Yep.
Was not impacted by the penalty box.
So it looks like we've got some track maintenance on the outside part of turn number 2, which is why we are under an official timeout.
Super exciting to see track down. We're finding less and less venues are letting us put track down.
True, true.
So that is 273 points to Pivot City in the lead, to 137 for Dragon City. We only have 3 minutes 56 remaining on the clock.
What?
I know, it feels like it's been 40 minutes longer than that.
Where has this game gone? Big shout out to all the Derby fans watching at home, wherever you're taking the live feed from.
Wouldn't it be cool if somebody was in France watching like we were watching France last night in the Junior Derby?
We trust that you are enjoying today's action, and there's plenty of it still to come as we wind this game down. Under 5 seconds now.
Is that KO again?
It is KO.
KO versus Dash, so we're not going to see them against each other, Blocker
No.
to Jammer. We're going to see them Jam versus Jammer, and KO victorious.
Nicely done.
Lead has about half a lap on Dash,
Yeah.
entering the pack at full speed. Duck into the in, duck into the out. 4 points, 4 points in call.
Hit it and quit it. Nicely done, KT, KO. You talk about beautiful skaters in terms of how they skate. You only have to watch KT when they skate towards you and when they're crossing over. Just the fluidity.
Yeah.
Is just, it's crazy good.
Plenty of balance, plenty of practice on skates. I don't know, I reckon KO's Jammer stats are going to be pretty awesome.
I would love to get a games breakdown. We did have that available at some of our rounds this season.
Well, it's a little bit skewed. If you only jam a handful of times, your little percentage is going to look better and stuff.
Sure.
But still, I'd be taking that. As a traditional blocker, I'd be putting that in my scrapbook.
Traditionally speaking, this is what Pixie does. She gets out, she gets lead jammer,
She gets
Pivot
points.
City, and gets points. So
2 at the back from Dragon City, that's 2 points. 1 more in the middle. And
all
all
four.
4. Done. Tick.
Yep.
We still have Dragon City. Oh. Knocked out of bounds, spins on their knees. Star pass complete. Max now our jammer for Dragon City. A little bit of confusion there because as they were knocked out, they did come back in front of somebody else, but I'm pretty sure the 2 Chico City blockers fell. So I don't think she came back in front of anybody upright and inbounds.
No, that was all good as indicated by both OPRs there, Mayhem
doing
and
the
Pee-wee. Given
no pass, no.
Yep, no pass, no penalty.
So 140 points difference between almost double again. 141 Chico Rollers, 281 Pivot City Rangers.
We might just touch on the format from here on in for today's results, if we get a chance. But we'll get jam number 17 underway
Liz
first.
runs straight down the outside for Pivot City, getting lead, while Calamity June pushing at the back.
Yep.
1 to beat at the front. Well, not an easy one to beat. Reforming. Nope. Slips through on the inside, exiting the pack just as Liz comes back around for some points.
And Liz has seen enough and called it off before Calamity June can do anything in terms of
Very glad
adding
I
to
didn't
the
say,
scoreboard.
well, that'll probably be the last jam because there's
Yeah.
only a minute and a half left on the clock. No, roller derby can do what it likes.
Exactly. So the format this year is obviously different to past years in terms of what happens as a result of today.
Yes.
I might get your thoughts on that as we wind this game down. What happens to Dragon City from here on? Is that their
So
season
all
done and
the
dusted?
teams playing, everybody that was ranked 1 to 4 in the pools, this
Yep.
is their semi-finals.
Yep.
That sorts out the game order, who plays who for next round, for the final round.
So for anyone watching at home that might want to know what transpires at the end of today.
So basically 1 plays 2 from each
Yep.
pool.
Yep.
And then that will be the 2 winners of those games will play for first.
Yep.
And the 2 losers of those games play for third.
So, yep.
So we're at the moment, these are the people that were 3 and 4.
Yes.
So the winners of these 2 games, so this game and the next game, will play each other for 5th spot.
Yes.
And the bottom 2 will be playing for position 7 and 8.
7 and 8. Okay.
And as we said, the 3:30 game today is actually for positions 9 and 10.
9 and 10. Yep. So there you have it, Derby fans. There's a little bit of complexity about it, but once you get your head around it, it's not too bad.
Well, it meant that they could include, nice artistic fall there from Bombshell, but it did mean that we could have 10 teams in the play in the
exactly.
tournament this year
Yeah.
rather than the 8, so
Yeah.
2 pool system. I think that's it. Bombshell calling it off with a leg in the air.
Yeah. It was a very elegant fall to the floor from Bombshell.
That one was very much just about waiting for the period clock to expire.
Ah.
Just get lead so that you can call it. Because you
Yeah.
already had a massive lead. You didn't need to score any points, risk
Yeah.
going to the penalty box or anything. What's our final score, JR?
Our final score, 141 Chico Rollers. Pivot City taking the win at 285.
So Pivot City will move on to play for 5th.
5th.
And Dragon City will be moving on to play for 7th at the finals.
Yeah. Of course, that's coming up in about 3-4 weeks' time.
Yep. And who they play will be determined in the next
game.
Yeah.
Of course, next game coming up on track very, very shortly. It is BRDL Rat Pack taking on Northeast Roller Derby Nerd.
Is it going to be yellow versus orange? What
Yep.
a
Oh,
pretty-
yellow versus black.
Black, okay, with
Yep.
orange highlights.
Yeah. Both teams very, very evenly matched. So I know I say it a lot in my commentary, but it should be an absolute belter of a game as
All
the
good
Derby
games
fans
should.
now coming to the side of the track to offer up a high five to these skaters. The skaters are just thanking the referees and all the non-skating officials in the centre of the track.
Who make roller derby possible.
Exactly.
All right, well, we're not sure what time the next game will start. I'm assuming it's going to be kind of soon.
Yes. Soon-ish.
Soonish. All right, we will catch you game number 2.
We will indeed. My name's JR. It's great having everyone here today and watching at home. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere because coming up very
I'll be
shortly,
back, Carmen Miranda. I'll be
Yeah.
back for game number 2.
there's another game coming up on track shortly.
Bye.